For decades, hackers have been portrayed as mysterious figures hiding behind computer screens, capable of breaking into the most secure systems in the world. But what happens when one of those hackers goes from being a threat to becoming someone who helps defend the very systems he once tried to break? This is the story of Kevin Mitnick, a man who was once considered one of the most wanted cybercriminals in the United States. A hacker who managed to infiltrate major companies, escape law enforcement investigations, and become a symbol of the early days of cybercrime. But his story would not end with prison. Instead, it would take a surprising turn, transforming him into one of the most recognized figures in cybersecurity. Before we uncover how Kevin Mitnick went from a wanted hacker to a cybersecurity legend, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss another story about the people, events, and cyber attacks that shaped the digital world. Kevin Mitnick's journey into hacking began long before hacking was considered a global threat. Growing up in California during the 1970s, he became fascinated by technology, phones, and the way communication systems worked. At a time when computers were not yet everywhere, and the internet as we know it did not exist, Mitnick was already exploring the weaknesses of complex systems. However, his first experiments were not about stealing money or causing destruction. He was fascinated by understanding how things worked and discovering ways around restrictions. One of the first areas that caught his attention was phone systems. During the era of phreaking, many young hackers experimented with telephone networks, discovering ways to manipulate them. Mitnick learned how these systems operated and became highly skilled at finding vulnerabilities. But as his abilities grew, so did the risks he was willing to take. What started as curiosity slowly developed into illegal activities that would eventually put him in the sights of law enforcement. In the 1980s and 1990s, Mitnick became known for using a technique that would later become one of the biggest concerns in cybersecurity: social engineering. Instead of relying only on technical skills, he understood that the weakest point in many security systems was often not the technology itself, but the people using it. By pretending to be someone else, gaining trust and manipulating conversations, hackers could sometimes obtain information that would otherwise be impossible to access. This ability allowed Mitnick to break into networks belonging to major companies and access sensitive information. He targeted organizations such as technology companies, where he copied software, studied systems, and collected information. His actions attracted increasing attention from authorities, and he became known as a highly skilled and elusive hacker. In 1995, after years of investigations, Kevin Mitnick was finally arrested by the FBI. Authorities considered him extremely dangerous, and the media often portrayed him as a digital criminal capable of causing massive damage. His case became one of the most famous hacking cases of the 1990s, representing a new era where computers were becoming central to society and cybersecurity was becoming a major concern. After his arrest, Mitnick spent several years in prison. During this time, the debate around his case continued. Some people viewed him as a dangerous criminal, while others saw him as a talented hacker whose curiosity had crossed legal boundaries. Regardless of the opinions surrounding him, one thing was clear: his understanding of technology was exceptional. When Mitnick was released from prison in 2000, his life changed completely. Instead of continuing down the path that had led to his arrest, he decided to use his knowledge to help organizations protect themselves from the same techniques he had once used. He founded a cybersecurity company and became a consultant, teaching businesses how to defend against hackers and social engineering attacks. His experience gave him a unique perspective. Many cybersecurity professionals understand vulnerabilities from a defensive point of view, but Mitnick understood them from the perspective of someone who had actually exploited them. He knew that security was not only about advanced software and complicated systems, but also about training people to recognize manipulation and protect sensitive information. Over time, Kevin Mitnick became one of the most famous names in cybersecurity. He wrote books, gave presentations around the world, and helped companies understand how attackers think. The same skills that once made him a target for law enforcement became the reason many organizations wanted his help. His story became an example of how people can change direction and use their abilities in a positive way. It also showed an important lesson about cybersecurity. Technology alone is never enough. Behind every system there are people, and understanding human behavior is one of the most powerful tools in both hacking and defense. Kevin Mitnick passed away in 2023, but his influence on the cybersecurity world remains. His life represents one of the most unusual transformations in the history of hacking. A person who was once hunted by authorities became someone who helped protect the digital world. The story of Kevin Mitnick reminds us that knowledge itself is not good or bad. What truly matters is how it is used. The same skills that can be used to break into systems can also be used to build stronger defenses and create a safer digital future. If you enjoyed this story and want to discover more about the hackers, cyber attacks and mysteries that shaped the internet, make sure to subscribe to the channel. More investigations into the hidden world of cybersecurity are coming soon.